ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Tech Showdown. My name is Kevin, this is my co-host Teddy, and today we're checking out this guy right here. It's Corsair's K63 compact mechanical keyboard. Now, super quickly, before we jump into this review, Playtech is auctioning off one of their pre-built PCs. It's a Ryzen system. It's really cool, and all the proceeds are going to charity. I'll leave a link to the video showing off the PC in the description down below, so I suggest you guys go over and take a look at that. And if you are in New Zealand, think about bidding on the PC, because if you win it, it's going to be a hell of a computer for one, and all the money goes to a really good cause. Now let's talk about the design of this keyboard then. Kick off this review. So as you can see, it is a 10 keyless design, a very compact design that makes it good for people who are traveling a lot or just don't have much desk space or whatever the situation may be. There is a market for 10 keyless keyboards, and this one is very, very compact, so that's good. Now it is plastic fantastic. There's no metal on here that I can see. However, this feels incredibly well built. I'm really surprised actually. There's no flex. It feels very, very sturdy, and that's what you want in a keyboard that you're going to be taking with you if you're going to another country or something like that. Now it still has the media keys up on the top, left and right, which is quite interesting for a compact keyboard. I didn't expect to see those, but hey, they're there, so that's quite a good addition. I always forget to use them, but I guess if you got really used to this keyboard, you may really like them after a while. Now, it has quite a flat stance to it. I personally don't like that, so I had it up on the stands. Then it felt really good, added a bit of angle there, but for those people out there that like a very flat keyboard, it'll be good for you. But if you don't want that, you can just prop it up on the stands like I did, and it feels just fine. And it also has an option to put a wrist rest in, which is a interesting thing, because considering this is a compact keyboard, and it doesn't actually come with one, which is also quite interesting. So yeah, the option is there if you really want, but I'm not sure how many people will actually take Corsair up on it. Now let's move over to the keys then. So key switch wise, it's using the Cherry MX red switch. So Cherry MX keys made in Germany, the best by far. I've told you guys a million times, they're my favorite, they're the best. Yeah, don't let anybody tell you otherwise. The red switch is a quieter switch, it's a linear switch. And yeah, a lot of people like them for typing especially. Personally, the blue switch is my favorite, probably followed by the brown. But the red is still a very nice switch, and I think you really like it if you get to this keyboard. Now, it does take a while to get used to the layout. Obviously, not having the numpad and stuff like that, for users like me who use that all the time, it does take a bit of getting used to. However, if you're a person that never uses the numpad, then you probably won't even really notice that it's gone, to be perfectly honest. If you just always use the numbers up top, then hey, you'll be just fine, so you won't even miss it in terms of that part of the layout. And personally, yeah, I think this is a good keyboard. I used it to play games. I was playing StarCraft last night with Steve and Brian, and it was absolutely fantastic. We had a lot of fun. And yeah, it's a great keyboard for gaming and everything else, and for typing on. I had no issues with it at all. Now let's move over to lighting then. So lighting wise, it only has the red LEDs, so there's no RGB here, which is a good thing from a certain perspective because it does keep the cost down. We will talk about that a bit later on. See, only the red LEDs, as this red backplate as well, which kind of like extenuates the red LED look to it, makes it look a bit brighter. And I think it looks pretty good. This is a pretty good looking keyboard. Obviously the RGB ones will look even better from Corsair's lineup, but for just a single color LED, it looks pretty nice. It contrasts really nicely with that red backplate, so I don't really have any issues with it. Now as far as features go, it comes with the Corsair Q software, which is slowly getting better, honestly, and considering this guy, there's not much that you can do in it. It's just fine in that regard. So there's no macro buttons on the keyboard, as you can see, dedicated ones. But in Q, you can disable Alt-Tab, Alt-F4, Shift-Tab, and the Windows key, which is really nice in case you do that. I always disable the Windows key. It's just something I've always done, so I like that. It also comes with a few lighting modes, a handful. So you get a visor, rain, wave, type lighting key, type lighting ripple, and of course static color mode. So there's a few there, enough for you to have a bit of fun with it anyway. I mainly just left it on static, but I do that with most of my keyboards anyway, although the rain one looks pretty crazy, so if you put that one on, your friends are really going to notice the keyboard then. Or if you're like APM spamming in games, and having the typing one with ripple makes the keyboard just go crazy, so that can be fun also. Which brings us now to the conclusion, and what do I make of the Corsair K63 compact mechanical keyboard? So price-wise, it's going to be coming in at 139 Australian dollars when it comes out in mid-April. For that price, for a Cherry MX keyboard, that's pretty good. I must say, that is actually pretty good. Cherry MX keyboards obviously go for a bit more than other mechanical keyboards which use Chinese switches, just by virtue that they're a better switch, more well made, made in Germany. So at that price point, I think it's fair. I don't think that's like a super good deal, but it's definitely not a bad deal. I just think it's a sort of fair price for what you're getting. Now the compact design is going to be very useful for a lot of people out there, so they will really like that. It feels well built. And the design overall is quite good, so yeah, this is a pretty decent keyboard in that regard. It feels nice to type on. The Cherry MX switches are always fantastic, so that feels really nice. The keycaps also feel really good too, and they have that big font on them, which some people like. The lighting is basic, but hey, it gets the job done, and it looks decent at the same time. And overall, this is just a good compact keyboard. If you're looking for something small, looking for a good 10 keyless keyboard, if you're someone who travels a lot or whatever your case may be, this will do you really well. You shouldn't really have any complaints that I can think of. Maybe the lack of RGB LEDs might, some people might want them, but honestly, I don't think that's the biggest deal in the world, and overall I think this is a really solid compact keyboard. Now I thank you all for watching this video. Please subscribe to Tech Showdown if you haven't already, and like the video. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.